And welcome to Links Live's Natters, where we listen to the voices of Lincolnshire. I'm Lesley, and today's episode is the Sow Festival. Very exciting for the summer. I hope we're all ready for the festival season. So, Kieran, welcome to Links Live's Natters. And I'd like to, before we dive in, find out a little bit more about yourself. And if you could introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us a little bit about you and what brought you to the Sow Festival.
Brilliant, thank you for having me. Yes, my name's Kieran. Sow Festival, I'm the creative producer. So I've been here with Sow Festival for the last 3 years now. I'll come up 3 years. It's my third festival producing this year. I'm also I'm from Nottingham originally, so East Midlands, born and bred. Been living in Lincoln for the last 10 years. Outside of being a creative producer, I'm also a freelance theatre maker and a playwright as well. So lots of strings to my bow.
Oh, wow. Yes. That sounds very interesting roles, I'm sure, doing all of that. And so the festival is running from the 12th to the 14th of June.
That's right.
Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with what's coming up. What can the audiences expect this year? And is there anything especially exciting about it?
Well, I mean, every year, we like to program a wide variety of shows. We're an outdoor arts festival, we're international, so we have companies this year coming from places like France, Spain, Italy, Denmark, all across Europe, and what they're bringing is their art and their creativity. So we've got circus acts, we've got music, we've got clowning, we've got some exhibition work going on with local community members in Skegness and around Lincolnshire as well. What we like to offer in Sow Festival is a wide variety of what I like to call flavours. We don't necessarily program by theme like other festivals might do, but we like to kind of offer something for everybody, and all of it's free. So there's no cost, there's no expectation for people, the only expectation we say to people is just turn up with your friends, your family, your kids, whoever, to experience the shows that we have being programmed as part of the festival. And this year is really great. I mean, every year is great, but what we try to do is we try to offer something that's a bit more ambitious, every year. So last year we had an amazing company come over from Spain, and they did an amazing kind of clowning slapstick show. And this year we're working with an amazing street theatre company based in France called Cumulus, and they've been going for 25, 30 years with community-driven projects that I guess are quite challenging in terms of the themes that they explore. So what we've just announced this week is for people to get involved in their project called Box Meetings, which is a kind of a participatory show, all the theme of Exodus and the theme of kind of refugees and migration, and we're asking for people, that have a story to tell. This is a project which engages local participants across Lincolnshire, but mostly kind of the East Coast and the East Lincolnshire district. But what we're really looking for is people to kind of tell their story and what their story is. We're not asking for people who are, might have experience in performing or telling stories. We believe, and I believe as a maker myself, that everyone has a story to tell. And this project, Box Meetings, is ambitious because we're asking people to sit and take part in community workshops. And these workshops will be delivered by Cumulus. So we're going to have members of the company join us for a week right before the festival. And participants will be asked to kind of share and explore their stories and to bring with them objects that can fit inside a shoebox. And these objects are going to be from their home and will be important for them to be able to tell their story.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So this is really inclusive and accessible to anyone.
Absolutely. Again, there's no financial cost to be involved. We want to make it as accessible as possible. People just need to kind of to join in and to take that a bit. It's a leap of faith, So it's important.
Absolutely. And I'm a big advocate for everyone having a story and telling their story because, as you know, telling that story will inspire or support somebody else going through something maybe similar, and I just love that, and the fact that it's that community. And I think once everybody understands each other's stories, it opens up an appreciation and understanding that they possibly didn't have before.
100%, absolutely, yeah.
And in a very creative way. It's not in an intrusive way. You're asking them to stand up and talk. You're just simple in a box.
Yeah. But we're asking people to tell their stories and these work as part of these workshops, and then they'll get to kind of share those stories at the festival as well. So there is a kind of a quote unquote performance element to it, but it's more what we're interested in those stories. It's about gathering people from all walks of life in a room together, sharing their stories, and then sharing that as part of the festival. And we're only doing a performance for one time on the Friday. So it's a kind of a blink you miss it kind of opportunity for people.
What an exciting opportunity. I absolutely love that. I think that's the one thing I wasn't aware of. So brilliant. Like that really plays in for me as well, like I say. I love that kind of telling the story element. So for anyone who hasn't experienced So Festival previously, in your own words, short sentence, how would you describe it? If I was to but if I was to tell my friend about it, what would I say?
Well, So Festival is a fully international street and outdoor arts festival based in Skegness and Mablethorpe.
Perfect. Love that.
That's the tagline.
I love that. That's very simple and easy for us to share, for our listeners to share with anybody they might come across who they think, actually, we're just sharing with everybody,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Bring that creative side out of you. These towns are sometimes overlooked. Right? These small towns, seaside towns, are quite often overlooked in the national art conversations. Why is it important that the international outdoor arts are happening there?
Well, I think it's because these places are overlooked. Because certainly when we're talking about our East Coast towns in Lincolnshire, our coastal towns, they are high on the economic deprivation scale. They're high on the cultural deprivation scale. There are places where that are overlooked and often feel kind of unloved and underappreciated. And so what So Festival and what other organisations that work across these coastal towns are doing is to celebrate these towns, to kind of bring culture back, but also to help those audiences and those people living there to kind of find their feet with culture in these areas. I think a lot of people that we speak to in these places, I think that what we understand that there's aspiration for things to happen. We see the same audiences and the same people come to the festival year in, year out. We see those same faces. And that's really important to us. And for us as So Festivals, yes, we know that kind of Mablethorpe and Skegness are holiday destinations for a lot of people. And, we do attract holiday makers to those who spend time in the caravans and holiday parks. But our primary focus is that local. It's that local audiences, that local communities. It's bringing art to the doorsteps of the streets of people that need it.
Yeah, definitely. And, from myself, them areas, they don't get the love and attention. And so aspirations can sometimes be a little bit lower because they think, they're not, what have we got, here?
Absolutely.
So to bring that there to them on their doorstep, making it accessible, saying, you can come and do this too. We haven't forgotten about you. You can do this.
Yeah.
Do you want to come and have a go?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, artists all over Europe, but also the UK and also local artist performers. So we have that space for local people that audiences will know to perform, and there's opportunities for local people to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So Festival is year-round and community-led. What happens behind the scenes that people might not realise?
Oh, I mean, so much. Yes, we're like you say, we're a 3-day festival, really. But so I guess what happens year round is there's a lot of planning that goes on. So all the performances that people will get to see at the festival are performances that we ourselves have seen, in festivals abroad, but also festivals across the UK. I think we really want to ensure that the work that we're seeing, at these festivals is it's sportable in that sense, and transparent, because we're working in public spaces, we're working in places like Tower Gardens and Skegness, but also on the streets. So we want to make sure that the work we're bringing over is suitable for those spaces. So we take a lot of thought and methodical thought in ensuring that these the shows and the experiences we're bringing are suitable for Skegness and maybe for us places and what they're able to offer, but also for the audiences as well. We also have a talks and workshops program year round. We involve local and national artists to lead workshops on what we think kind of local and emerging practitioners and also other festivals might want to learn about, whether that's kind of budgeting or how to work internationally, or thinking about how we make our festivals accessible, not just for our audiences, but for the artists we work with as well, as that's a big conversation that's happening. We are quite year round. We do try and make sure that we have a presence with our Talk to Workshops program, with running creative networking events and creative meetups for local artists, as well as obviously our main bread and butter, which is our 3-day festival.
Fantastic. So what is it and why does it matter right now to bring the So Festival to life?
We're in a... I think we're in a place culturally where, as I'm sure we all know, I think the culture and the arts and art subjects are being, trodden upon by the government and funding and everything else. And so we see this a lot in education, where this idea of kind of soft subjects and not being relevant and, waste of taxpayers' money and everything else. And I think it's so important that we showcase, the power of our culture, because it has such a vibrant and positive effect on our well-being. Whether that's seeing or participating in the creation of art. And for me, it's so fascinating and important because we are targeting those communities that maybe feel underrepresented, and we're doing the festival in these places which historically have had that kind of cultural and economic deprivation. And I think festivals like this that offer that free experience, because often the first barrier to people's experiences in our culture is often financial. We see it in London and West End, where tickets are so extortionate and expensive that we're removing that cost. So their expectation is literally just to turn up. And I think that's important for people's access to art and culture.
Yeah, and it brings so much joy to people's lives, doesn't it? And you sort of touched on it, the mental health aspect and things like that. To have such joy and vibrancy and storytelling,
absolutely,
it's just a whole different experience when you see it live and in person. And I don't think that can be underestimated. And you're right, I think, in the sense that, education, unfortunately, is kind of shunning it slightly. But, where will we get our actors from? Where will we get, our circus performers from? All them things that we love and enjoy, like the West End, right? Where are they going to come from if we just put them all in the corner and say, no, you can't do that?
Yeah.
Especially for people who aren't necessarily maths and English and all that, and just got this creative light inside of them that you are allowing to shine bright by saying, here's an environment you can come to free and, participate in now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's fantastic. I'm so excited. Okay, so outside of the So Festival, you described your career as a portfolio, one playwright, theatre maker, producer. How do those creative roles connect to you?
It's a really good question. I think they connect with this idea of, I think about this question a lot because, yes, I'm a creative producer for Festival. I'm also all of these different things, and it becomes a jack of all trades kind of situation. But I think what connects them really is this idea of telling stories. Basically, I'm a writer or playwright, so naturally I'm telling stories because I'm writing the stories. But and when I'm producing, freelance or with the Soul Festival, I'm helping other people to tell their stories. Whether that's an individual show, and then in the context of the festival itself, we're telling the stories of Skegness and Maplethorpe. We're telling the stories of these places and what these places mean to the audiences, but then we're sharing these places with the artists that come into them. We do find that a lot of our international work and our international artists, quite often, it's their first time performing in the UK. And what an opportunity is to be able to kind of perform and present their work in Skegness and Maplethorpe and in a county that we all kind of love and cherish. And it's about enabling them to share their stories, to share their culture and their creativity, and bring them over to places and to people that might not otherwise get the opportunity to experience that for whatever reason. So I think what connects everything that I do is this idea of telling stories, telling stories for people and gathering stories and to celebrate that because, I think stories can be powerful and stories help us find ourselves and to, learn about who we are and the place we are and the times we're living in. And yeah, I think it all interconnects. And also, I love it. I love doing each and every aspect of my job, and my job is so varied. Every single day is a different day, and no 2 days or 2 weeks are the same. I love it, and yes, I think it is difficult in a lot of ways because we're so reliant on funding and everything else, both as a festival, but also in many artists out there rely on funding.
Yeah.
But I love it. Many artists that I speak to, many critics also love it for that reason.
And I suppose in that kind of international looking at it, you've got artists coming over here. You don't know who's in the audience who might think, actually, do you know what?
Yeah.
They'd be great in my show. But also, it's creating that connection between the UK and international, where there could be that collaboration, and it shows what's possible to people of Maplethorpe and Skegness area and the Greater Lincolnshire area about, actually, you know what? If that's happening here, there's nothing to say that it might not happen.
Absolutely. I think it comes back down to that aspiration aspect. I was thinking of a story last year. So we had a brilliant company, UK-based company called Head Over Reels, which is a disability focused aerial dance company who performed with us. And we had, a load of young people and their parents in the audience, some of who had disabilities, physical disabilities, and they watched the show and you can see their eyes light up. And afterwards, they were like, how can I do that? And I thought, well, actually, we've got a local company called Creative Heights with an accessible rig. 10 minutes later, we're already on the rig in Tower Gardens with Creative Heights. And that is why we do what we do, because people will see that, they get that aspiration, and then they want to act on that aspiration immediately. And that's brilliant.
Showing what's possible.
Absolutely.
So I love that. Fabulous. What role do festivals like the So Festival play in well-being and connection?
I think they play quite a significant role. There are tons of festivals up and down the UK, outdoor arts festivals that take place in the streets of some people's homes. Obviously, So Festival is one of them. They bring people together. They bring communities together. They, what I like to think of it as is, you have people go, every single day you have people walk down the street, and whether it's to take their kids to work, to school, or to go to work, or to go shopping, and what we like to do is kind of offer something different. For me, it's about, you know, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's what it is outside of the public spaces. It's not in buildings. It's not in theatres, because I think certain buildings, you know, they can't be accessible for people, or people feel that hesitant to go to these buildings because they might not feel it's for them. But if it's outside their street, or if it's by the shop and they always go to, the place that they work, that is a more accessible space and a more communal space for people to be themselves.
Yeah, and they don't, they can't miss it almost, can they?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So they're always exposed to it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it, say you're into your third year now, that means they're kind of getting used to seeing it, which then makes it the norm, and makes them more interested, wanting to go look at more. I can imagine if they've just passed by before. Year 3, they may well stop and go, oh, actually, what's this all about?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'd like to say, I've been with So Festival for 3 years, but it's actually gone for a lot longer than that. I think it's definitely over kind of 10 years, but I think it's evolved. It's evolved as time's gone by, where we've kind of worked with different partners, worked with different community groups and different organisations, and we're always seeking to kind of evolve that. One of the things that we've been working on, and we're launched year 2 of it as of last week, I believe, is our supported artist scheme, and our outdoor arts development scheme, because this, there's a gap, I think, in the development for outdoor artists in Lincolnshire. So we want to address that gap by, bringing in emerging creatives or emerging producers to, develop their ideas and develop their craft, and find out, okay, well, I know I could do this, but I'm not quite sure about that, and I want to kind of develop those skills, those kind of budget or arts management or anything like that. So it's really important for us to be able to upskill our local artists and communities in that way as well.
Bring them on to the next level.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fabulous. So finally, if someone is listening right now, whether they're an artist, a volunteer, a local business, or someone who's never engaged with the arts before, what's the next steps? How can they get involved to be part of the So Festival?
Well, they can go on our website, which is sofestival.org, and on that we have a jobs and opportunities page, and on that we have links to our supported artist scheme for artists who might want to take that next stage in their development. They can make an application through that, and see how they get on with that. Equally, they can email us if they've got questions about that. Opportunities to be involved in the box meetings project is also on our website. So we're just asking for people's details of their, how to sign up and getting their details for the sign-ups for that. We're recruiting local people from the region to be festival assistants to help deliver the festival. And that's quite a unique experience. We've found certainly in the last 3 years that we've had people return. They love it so much that they want to come do it over and over again, which is great for us. So the first point of call is always the website. Engage with us on social media, drop us an email, drop us a message. We're open to conversation. We want people to get involved in however is best for them.
And if they wanted to attend and they wanted to see like a lineup of what's going to be happening, where could they find all of that information out, like the locations and the times and what's
Absolutely,
happening?
yeah. So they'll be able to find that on our website. It's not quite live yet, so they're just working out all the creases and the kinks at the moment. But they'll be able to find on our website. We'll also have printed programs and brochures available as well. But they'll be able to access all the information about how to engage, the timings, the locations on our website, and it'll also be shared across our social media as well.
Fantastic. And just a reminder, nobody needs to book, they just turn up.
Nobody needs to book, just turn up.
Just turn up, have a look, come for the day, come for one event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Come see a couple of shows at Skegness on there before, grab some fish and chips, and then come back for some more. Be great.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love that. So I think that's about it for today, Kieran. Unless you've got anything else that I missed that you don't want to add into about your amazing festival coming up?
No, I think we've covered it. I think, anyone who wants to come down, just spend the time with us. We would really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for your time today.
No,
It's been
thank
an
you.
absolute pleasure to find out about Sofa and the Box project.
Yeah,
That sounds
absolutely,
amazing.
yeah.
Thank you to all our amazing listeners for listening today. We wouldn't have this show without you. So thank you so much. And thank you to Kieran for being here. Links Lives Natters website. Please go and visit us. All of the details for the Sofa Festival will be linked to it. And thank you to all of the amazing team behind the scenes. Without you guys, this wouldn't be what it is. And we look forward to seeing you at our next episode. Thank you.